USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Okay, all right, this is good. That's better. That's good. Okay, thanks. It was good. It's better to see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I got you more clearer.
Okay, get ready because it's programming. Good afternoon. Welcome to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. And I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. And it's a pleasure to once again be in front of you with the great show, Power Talk, right here, Millennium News, where I promise you would always get great talk, great discussions from everything from politics to health to religion to entrepreneurship, business, etc. We keep it a wide array of information and knowledge, and we always work to keep it interesting for our viewers and listeners. We have a great guest in our studio today, and I'm so happy he could come into the studio and not do any power-ups from a distance in a far place. We have with us today Mr. Melchizedek Shabazz, a student of Minister Malcolm X. That's right. A student who was to speak with, look face to face with the great Muslim leader, Malcolm X. And he's here live. He's one of the few that's left that's alive on our planet amongst us. And it's an honor and great opportunity to have him here. And I'm sure he's going to fill us with some great information in history. So welcome, Mr. Shabazz.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure to be here on the show, Millennium News TV. It's a pleasure and honor, and I thank Brother Stephen, Eric Stephen, for inviting me. It's a pleasure, and feel free to ask me whatever you choose to ask pertaining to Islam in the month of Ramadan. Feel free to ask, and I'll supply you with the understanding to the best of my ability that I have.
Yes. Mr. Shabazz, we have few headline news topics we would like to go into before interviewing you and get your take on your thoughts, because I know you're a man of knowledge, experience, and insight. And, we're living in very troubling times as we have war, we have turmoil, we have so much unsettlement with our government in Washington and the local state houses of America, and we need to get balance. As you know, point one I have here, as you know about the bloodstained building in the Parkland massacre that happened in 2018. We have Vice President Kamala Harris toured it the other day with the victims' families and some of the local leaders there, elected leaders there, and she said repeatedly about what she saw. The gunshots were still there, the bloodstains were still there, etc. And she had mentioned that there should be more spending on school safeties and money for stronger gun laws in the states. Which is a norm. That's an automatic. So what is your thoughts on that? She wants to increase funding for stronger gun laws and school safety. I think at this point we should. I mean, school safety should have been a priority so many years ago, but unfortunately, it took something like Parkland and other things where students were massacred and killed. So talk is still going on, but we need some quick action now on school safety. This cannot be repeated. We can't allow it to be repeated. So what do you think, Mr. Chesney?
Well, when it comes to school safety, we should be very strict on gun laws pertaining to that. And all students should be screened before they come into the school because of the situations that's been taking place. And that way it will prevent of the shooting of students shooting each other in school, because they would have nothing on them on their presence to carry that into practice, and that should have been in place. See, we put a lot of negative things before the positive things, and that's the problem. Always deal with the youth first, because that's the future generation, and there will be no generation if you don't have the prepare the future for the generation. So that should be in place. More policemen, for more policemen, and screening all students before entering a school building should be screened. And as far as gun law is concerned, that should be eliminated to the point where only law enforcement is allowed to purchase guns and the purchase guns. Anybody, just because I have a driver's license or I have a identification, doesn't mean I got the right to go in a store and buy guns like I'm going shopping for a loaf of bread. No, tighten up, and you can do that. But the reason why it's a blockage and always a hesitation, because instead of focusing on the lives of the people, they're focusing on the money that's being made off the guns. And so you have to face that reality.
But I think, it's a lot of talk and discussion, which is taking a lot of time for action. By debating back and forth about school safety year after year. This happened 2018.
Yeah.
And they still talk about, well, we need to get money for school safety. That should have been put in immediately.
Yeah, but you always have the blockage.
6 years later.
Yes, because they always have a blockage because they're putting unnecessary problems in front of the main problem.
Right. They're prioritizing other things over what should really be prioritized immediately.
And
that's school safety is one.
Right. And that's why they call it not politics, politics. Okay.
Wow.
So when you're dealing with politics, you're always going to have interference, blockage for those who's trying to withdraw whatever they can get out of it.
Politics has to stop. Point two, let's hope that they get something done quickly. Hopefully after this show, maybe a message will get to them to act now and stop the talk, get it done. Point two here, I don't know if you was familiar, or you might be familiar more than me, in Fort Worth, Texas, 85 years ago, a racist mob drove Opal Lee, was the name, her name, Opal Lee's family away. Now she's actually getting a new home on the same spot that she was driven out of. She was 12 years old at the time, and a racist mob drove her family out of their Texas home. Now she's 97 years old. She's a community activist, and is getting closer to moving back into a brand new home that's constructed on the very same tree-lined corner lot in Fort Worth. And she says she's not a person who sheds tears often, but she's got a feel for this project. This June 19 will be the 85th anniversary of the day the mob angered that a Black family had moved in and began gathering outside the home. Her parents had just brought, and as the crowd grew, her parents sent her and the siblings to a friend's house several blocks away, and then eventually left themselves. Newspaper article at the time said the mob that grew to about 500 people broke windows in the house, and those people tore that place asunder. Lee said her family did not return to the house, and her parents never talked about what happened that day. She said, "My God-fearing, praying parents worked extremely hard, and they brought another home." She said it didn't stop then. They didn't get angry and get frustrated. They simply knew that we had to have a place to stay, and they got busy finding one for us. Now, 90, like it says, 85 years later, she's 97, and she's actually moving into a new home on the same place that this horror that haunted her since 12 years old happened.
Yeah.
She's making a point that, after all of these years, the 85 years, she never forgot. And not just she never forgot, she says she's going back now to where they fled from, and they chased her out. She's now going back into a home, and a new home built on the same site.
Now, was all those mob, that was all the members of that mob, were they convicted? Was they accountable?
I don't know about.
Even though they given her a new home and everything, but what about the actions of those who participated in that unlawful act against her? Were they accountable? Were they arrested? Were they in prison? What took place with them?
I don't know, because there was a mob of 500 people. There was no one singled out of that. It was a huge mob of 500 white people that all participated in chanting from the get out, broke windows, set the house on fire, and so on. So I don't know how they was going to just come arrest 500 people. And then at that time, 85 years ago, the sheriff might have even been involved with the angry mob. So who was going to make an arrest?
Yeah, but usually if it's a mob, usually the five up front is mostly the spearheads of the mob.
Well, I think it looked like 500 of them was all up front doing it. And then I guess, Lord, in those days, it looked like police officers and all were involved with protecting these people who was moving on these acts of racism against blacks in the South and Texas, as you can see. But anyway, nevertheless, she's returning back home after 85 years, and she's 97 years old now, Opal Lee, and she's still an activist fighting for the rights of people.
Well, I give her top respect for her determination, her encouragement, and her keeping it alive, so the public can witness and be a witness of all and be knowledgeable of all the things that takes place. Just because it's not in your house doesn't mean it's not taking place in other people's houses. So I have to commend her on that. She has my utmost respect. But I'm still about law. Whoever breaks the law, and nobody's above the law, they should be held accountable and be punished by the law, regardless of their position, their name, their position, or the reputation, or whatever. You break the law, you're supposed to be accountable, and you're supposed to, whatever the price is, you're supposed to pay. You pay like everybody else. Nobody's above the law. And once we understand that nobody's above the law and everybody's going to be accountable for whatever law they break, then you'll get some kind of balance in the system.
Yeah, it's just like Emmett Till when he was killed at a young age some years back, or not so many. They just convicted the man who defaced him and killed him at 90-something years old on his deathbed. So he couldn't go to prison. He was already dying, but it took so long. Maybe they knew way before, but they gave him a pass. And now all of a sudden it's okay because of the pressure of the public and the legal organizations that have been pushing and fighting for civil rights and these injustices. They finally pinned it on the guy who actually did the killing, and he died. So he never paid the price in jail. But, I guess now he's dealing with the higher power of answering what he did. But we're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back because, Brother Spaz, we got to get into some of this interview while we have you in our studio. So stay tuned with us, and we'll be right back. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. And through our social media, Millennium News. See you then. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk Show. Here I'm your host once again, Eric Stevenson. We're here with Mr. Muhammad Shabazz. And welcome again. I'm glad you're here, Shabazz. And we want to just go through a few more topics, and we want to get into some things about why you're here and some things that we can share in Ramadan on history of the Black Muslims of America and so on, and your teacher and the teachings you came up with and shed some light. Another thing in point 3 I had, as you know, there was a deadly attack the other day at a concert hall in Moscow. It shakes the Russian capital, and it sows doubts about security. It seems that, here once again, they're wondering how these people plotted, how they got in, and it's like a breach maybe of security in the mind of some, that these people got in and killed, I believe, over 100 people. They said it was tied to one of those organizations that I think, what's the name of the group that they said Bin Laden used to be with? What's the name of that? ISIS. They said it was tied to ISIS, but it has been no final confirmation. It was mentioned. Then they're saying that the president of Ukraine might have something to do or know something about it, etc. So I guess all will come to light sooner or later. But once again, unrest in the world. What's your thoughts, Brother Chesney?
Well, as far as my opinion, I feel that America should focus on America. America has too many problems, unsolved problems in America, that they should focus on that first and understand that charity starts at home first and then spreads abroad. There's nothing wrong with getting involved with other people's affairs and helping other people after you clean your house. Your house cannot be clean. If your house is not clean, then you should focus on cleaning up your house, and then you can step out to assist others in cleaning up their house. Okay? Now, I respect whatever takes place outside of America. I sympathize with, I respect it, whatever. But my focus is on America, inside of America. There's too many unsolved problems here that Americans solve. And there's no reason, if the politicians will stop politicking, you understand, and concentrate on what's best for America. Do what's best for America first, and then after America is in order, then you can reach out and help other people. But I can't see you reaching out outside your house when your house got more problems than the outside houses.
Right.
America, charity starts at home first. What's the home? America. So take care of the home, and after the home is in order, then you can step out and help other people get their home in order.
That's it. Take care of house first. Also, in world news today, as you know, today is the presidential election in Senegal, West Africa. There will be people out at the polls to elect a new president after the current president, Macky Sall, is term limited out now. There's been unrest there over the last several months. There's been some people killed. There's been banks and government buildings set afire. Now they had the main opposition person was put in jail. Sonko's his name, and he was there, I believe, for over a year. And now he had a 2-year sentence, but I think the international court said it was unfair and unjust, so they had to release him at the time of the president being forced to hold the election now. He wanted to put it off for some more time, but the international court said, no, that's against democracy. You have to call for this election. So it's going on today. So I'm sure by tonight, if they get the votes counted, or by tomorrow, we will have an idea who would be the next leader of the country, Senegal, West Africa.
Okay. Now, anytime there's an unrest, upheaval, okay, or demonstrations or riotings and so forth, it's the absence of freedom, justice, and equality. No matter who the president is, the president does not control the country. The president has no power of a country unless they enforce freedom, justice, and equality in the country. You have to have a love for the people, and you have to provide the needs of the people, and you keep a balanced government with peace, respect, and unity. You have to see that the people are serviced with food, clothing, and shelter. Mm-hmm. If food, clothing, and shelter is not on the table in any country, you're going to have a catastrophe sooner or later. Mm-hmm. You may always remember freedom, justice, and equality. Food, clothing, and shelter. Food, clothing, and shelter is the foundation of any government. And if that's not carried into practice and it's not a service to the people, you're going to have catastrophe. It's not today, tomorrow. Yeah. You can't have the have all and the have nones. Yeah. It has to be a balance. And if there's no balance, you're going to have catastrophe.
Well, whoever the new president is, may they be the right person for the oppressed. It's a rich country, whereas this population and citizens are suffering. Many can't even go to bed at night with a dinner or having dinner. So it's very oppressed and poor in the people having access, but it's a rich country in resources. So the president, whoever it is, may they finally take a turn to do something to help the poor, to help the oppressed, to help the people of the nation that elects them, and put some of the resources to work for the country and the people of the country. As you say, freedom, justice, and equality. So moving forward now, Mr. Melchizedek, so much for the news topics of around the world. Now let's get back, touchdown with home now. So we have you here with us today, and as one of the founding or one of the old times Black Muslims of America, of the times of Malcolm X, I saw you on the show on Netflix where they interview you like for numerous times, for probably throughout the documentary, for over an hour talk you had. You gave a lot of insight on Malcolm X and your experience with him. So why don't you tell the viewers, first of all, about yourself and your teacher, how'd you come into Islam, and the start of the Black Muslim movement in America?
Well, I was under Malcolm, but before that, I was incarcerated. And when I was incarcerated, there was a Muslim brother there who was a follower of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. His name was Walter 5X at the time, and then he rose to be Bala Shabazz Allah, and then he rose to be Makmul Ramza. So Minister Malcolm X used to come in a Greenhaven State Prison and supply him with all the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in articles, Pittsburgh Courier articles. And Brother Walter, while he was there, he had a table in the yard, and he was teaching the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I happened to pass by there and meet other brothers and heard him teaching these teachings. And it was teachings that I never heard before and really attracted me. So anyway, make a long story short, he approached me one day and he said, "Have you ever heard of the Elijah Muhammad?" I said, "No." "Have you ever heard of Malcolm X?" He said, "No." He said, "Well, I have something for you like to read. Do you read?" I said, "Yes." So he had a stack of articles from the Pittsburgh Courier newspaper. And he said, "Well, if you would read these, I'll let you have these, but you have to read them all in one night because of the fact that every night a different brother has the opportunity to read these articles." So I said, "Fine." So after that, and I went up after we had chow, which was you hardly eat. But anytime you're incarcerated, everything consists of pork. And so, and by you not eating pork, it's like you're not eating at all. So anyway, I went to my cell and I started reading the articles, and I became attracted to the articles. And the next thing I know, I couldn't stop reading. So when the cell light went out, I got down by the tail light and I started reading, and I read every article all night long. And so the next day after I finished the article, the next day I saw him. I said, "Hey, thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate that." And had the articles, and I said, "I would like to come to the table." So anyway, he said, "Welcome, fine, fine." So I came to the table, and that's when I started learning the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and also his teacher, who was a Master W.D. Farrakhan, Allah in the person of Master W.D. Farrakhan. That's what I was taught and accepted. So after that, we started teaching, we started spreading, and we got so large because Walter 5X, Bilal Shabazz Allah, Mahmoud Ramza, converted 3/4 of the inmates in Green Haven State Prison, okay, with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which he received from Master W.D. Farrakhan.
What year was that?
That was the year of 1957.
Wow.
1957. In 1957, it was rough. Trust me, it was rough in there. And so after we got so large and everything, of Walter 5X, who's Mahmoud Ramza, and Bilal Shabazz Allah, all the same brother, he suggested that we start up a writ to write a writ for us to file so we can have our religious rights practice, the freedom of our religious rights practice in Green Haven State Prison, which under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then when the word got out that that's what we was going to do, then the word went out amongst the correctional officers at the time, and they put out threats that anybody that participate in writing this writ and signing it, that they would never leave here alive. So then it was up to us to make the sacrifice, whether we're going to do that, being that we're there, like Walter 5X said, being that we're there, we should make some type of contribution, being that we're not going to get out of here anyway. We'll probably die in here. So before we leave and pass away, let's at least do something constructive, make some kind of decent contribution to the people before we leave. So evidently, so we wrote the writs and everything, and what they wanted to do to us didn't take place because of the fact by Malcolm X coming in and out, they was afraid that if that got back to him, that we was being brutalized like that would have went all over the world, and they didn't want that. And I want to make it plain in front of the world. Malcolm X, under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was next to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and next to Master Farad Muhammad, was the powerfulest black man in America. There is no man in America that can, besides the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Master W. Farad Muhammad. There's no other man in the world that can wear Malcolm's shoes. You couldn't wear his shoes because his performance and his determination and his deliverance was so powerful that even to today, nobody can measure up to the work that he did.
Hold that right there. We're going to take a quick break. Hold that note, and we're going to go right back into it as soon as we return. Stay tuned.
Why are you always taking breaks?
We're still on there. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also, all smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. And through our social media, Millennium News. See you there. I didn't say my purpose. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. I'm your host, Eric Stevenson, and we're into a great discussion and history talk here with Muhammad Shabazz Allah. So, brother Shabazz, let's continue with
Yes. So I would like to make it plain to the world that the work that Minister Malcolm X did under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad should always be respected, remembered, and never forgotten, because it was Minister Malcolm X that set up 46 temples of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, 46 universities under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and also put together the Muhammad Speaks newspaper and gave it to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a gift. So I want to make it plain to the world when it comes to the works of Minister Malcolm X under the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is untouchable. And everybody out there today who's under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you have to respect that, accept that, love that, accept that, love that, and respect that, and never let it be forgotten.
So let me ask you, so these teachings, what did it do for the people who studied these teachings or came into these teachings or accepted them? Because you said there was many in the prison who accepted it. So what did it do for them? Did you see the transformation of people after coming into these teachings?
Yes. The teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad under Malcolm X transform you from what you used to be into what you're supposed to be. It stopped you from alcohol. It stopped you from drinking. No alcohol, no drugs, no narcotics, no meat. Okay, neat, clean, organized, face clean shaven, hair neatly trimmed. Okay, respect for yourself, respect for your family, respect for people in general. It made you a civilized, cultured, and refined individual.
And respect of the women.
And respect of women. Not just respect women, protect women, okay? And also marry the woman. You understand what I'm trying to say? And provide for her and her children. If one job didn't do it, then you get two jobs. You understand? Malcolm made you believe that he made you believe you couldn't die. So he said, knowing that you have that belief that you can't die, so then you have plenty of time to do everything that's right for yourself, your family, and your people. And this is what all inmates in constitutions in prison need. You need a discipline program, which is knowledge, wisdom, understanding of your true identification, that you are the God of yourself, and everything you need to make yourself a better person is in yourself. And it was the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that brought what was in you all the time, brought it to the surface so you can carry it into practice and show and prove that you is the God of yourself. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. And when you understand the right and the wrong, it's not what you want to do, it's what's best for you. Okay? And when you understand and do what's best for you, you can tell, because it's going to work out for you. You're going to see progress and you're going to be success. Most of the time when you do what you want to do, you end up with a problem. You end up bumping your head against the wall. You're unsuccessful, you understand, and falling down on the ground where you were before you got the understanding of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
So it seemed like that was the real reform in the prison system at that time, that actually helped men come back out into society upright.
Yes.
It wasn't the program of the prison systems, because they didn't have any program but to lock you behind bars, feed you, and then lock you back until your time finished.
Right.
So it was coming to these teachers that made people come into knowledge of righteousness within their self and according to Allah, and to come into society and be upright. So it wasn't the prison system producing this. It was the teachings.
See, the prison system doesn't teach you to be a better person. It teaches you to come back in. It teaches you to come back in. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't teach you. Now, the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a life-giving teaching. It gives you life. There is no teachings in the world that gives you life like the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Well, you see what it did for Malcolm X.
Yeah. Malcolm X was alcohol, was a drug addict, a drug pusher, pimp.
All of this stuff.
We all had these negative vices. Even I myself, I was a drug pusher, using drugs, and you can say a drug addict, but not knowing I'm a drug addict because my drugs is free. I'm making money. I'm living good, okay, and my family's being taken care of. So even though I'm addicted, I'm not aware of being addicted because I'm still living a luxurious, comfortable life. You follow what I'm trying to say? But I'm still addicted. You know what I'm trying to say? And even today, the problem of today, with regardless of race, color, creed, or religion, the problem of today is alcohol, drugs, tobacco, marijuana, and meat, chicken. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, but I do eat chicken. But if you're eating chicken, you're still eating pork because the same thing a pig eat, a chicken eat. So if you're eating the chicken, you're still eating the pork, and that's what brings about all your unnecessary problems. Okay? So what you have to do is go back to not what you want to do, what's best for you, and stop making all these weak excuses. Okay, because a man or a woman, you don't start dying until you start neglecting yourself. So if you're drinking alcohol, you're neglecting yourself. If you're using drugs, narcotics, you're neglecting yourself.
So now you talk about a dietary law.
Yes.
So what's that? That consists of no meat, right? No, how to eat to live.
Right. No meat. Because all meat is effective to your digestive system. Mm. Because if you eat a piece of meat now, it takes 8 hours for it to digest. So before it get a chance to digest, you either go laying down or you're sitting down, and that's where the weight comes in at. You understand my point? So the reason why no meat is necessary because it creates bad health. Because you get away from the source of all medication. Mm-hmm. The source of medication is vegetation. Vegetation is the source of medication, and the vegetation is created by the source of creation, which is the natural creation of vegetation. So now you're going for long life, longevity, memory, recording, and so forth, youthfulness, young facial expressions. You understand what I'm trying? Energy. So don't make excuses. Ask yourself a question. Do you want to live with good health or do you want to die with bad health?
Well, how old are you now, brother? You look like you in good health to me. I don't think.
I know. I look like I'm 25. But be honest with you, I am 88 years old.
Wow.
Okay, 88 years old.
So you followed this teaching?
Because I've been following these teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for over 50 years.
Without meat and all.
Without meat, without fish.
Wow.
The source of medication is vegetation.
Wow.
And vegetation is the source of medication. And vegetation is created by the universal divine creation that produces vegetation. So now you're into what? You're into longevity, youthfulness, active, memory, recording, you understand? Energy.
Mental clarity, everything,
Everything. You understand? And guess what? No medication.
Wow.
Because medication is against you. You think medication is healing you. No, medication don't heal you. Okay? Medication is a how you say
pacifier.
It's a pacifier. Right, it's a pacifier. What they call these colored pills, colored tablets. In other words, I give you a prescription, and I tell you every 2 hours, I program you. Yeah. Every 2 hours, take this tablet. So now you're already programmed, take this every 2 hours to take this tablet. And most people is drug addicts, under the heading of medication. You got two drug addicts. You got one drug addict with the drugs, and then you got the other drug addict with the medication. That's a drug. But they both is suffering with the same thing because they are addicted. Well,
I think we better try that vegetation as our medication. And need to start looking like you, 88. Yeah, man, I can't believe it, man. You don't have no walking stick. You have no humps, man. At 88. And you're not even on any medication.
The source of Medication is vegetation, and if you focus on the vegetation, you look like I look with no medication. Now the problem is you make excuses. We always looking for an excuse, and I just got through telling you it's not what you want to do. Get that in your head. What you want to do is over. It's what's best for you to do, and what's best for you to do is going to work out for your best interest, longevity. Okay,
so
good health.
Is all of this part of the teachings?
All this is part of the teachings, and we have
Muhammad.
Right, and we have here the Muslim's cookbook. Now, there's no Muslim cookbook like this in the world. In the world, none, none Muslim's cookbook in the world. So feel free to get that Muslim cookbook. Okay.
Well, you got to tell people where they could get this if they want to look like you at 88. Where can they get this at, man?
Well, you can go to my website is Universal Supreme Shabazz Allah. That's the website. Universal Supreme Shabazz
Allah.com, right?
.com, okay. Right. And you also can go to my P.O. box, P.O. 70282 Brooklyn 112 New York. P.O. Box 70282 Brooklyn 112 New York.
And that website is what again?
And phone number is 917-554-4274. 917-554-4274. You also can go on Netflix and see the documentary with Minister Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Melchizedek on Netflix. The name of the Blood Brothers.
That's that's the one. Yeah, very good documentary.
That's the relationship between Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is there on there. And also Melchizedek, Shabazz Allah. I'm also.
So this was another teaching that Cassius Clay, when he was the boxer, when he took the teachings of what you're talking about, he became Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
And he became the greatest boxer in history.
Now Muhammad Ali, before Muhammad Ali was Muhammad Ali, he was Cassius Clay. And so he was a fighter, right? So he's from Kentucky and so forth. He had no knowledge at all pertaining to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Mm-hmm. So when he, as you know, when you're in Las Vegas and fighting, usually the mob have a piece of you. Organized crime has a piece of you. You don't fight in Las Vegas unless they have a piece of you. So when they told him that he had to throw a particular fight, and if he didn't throw the fight, that he wouldn't have no legs. So he panicked and he crawled to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and they told me if I don't throw the fight, I won't have no legs. Mm-hmm. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, you tell them that they got legs too. Okay. And then Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked Muhammad Ali, you want to fight? So Muhammad Ali says, yes. He said, okay, take my name, Muhammad Ali. I name you Muhammad Ali. Wow. Now you go ahead and fight, and no one will touch you. No one will harm you.
Well, let's hold this thought. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and we're going to finish out the show. We got a top finish about this Muhammad Ali. It's getting real interesting. A lot of things people don't know. So I didn't know. So he was threatened by the mafia, and then took this, huh? Wow. He took a name and became great, huh?
Yeah.
That's the power of the name Muhammad, huh?
You got that right.
Wow. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. and go on social media, Millennium News. See you then. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk, and I'm your host, Eric Stevenson, here with Mr. Chezidek Shabazz. He was just giving us some history about Muhammad Ali and these teachings that he inherited from prison of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm just hearing something about Muhammad Ali that I didn't know went the way it did. After hearing that he wanted to fight and that the mafia threatened him, and that he went to Elijah Muhammad for refuge, and he told him and said, "Take my name," and he took the name Muhammad Ali. And why don't you continue? Because I'm just very interested.
So once he accepted the name Muhammad Ali, then he became a registered Muslim in the Nation of Islam under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then he no more pork, no more alcohol, no more whatever negative activities he was doing before, he stopped immediately. Now, by him being a fighter, okay, he didn't become a vegetarian, but he did stop eating the bad food. And the best meat that he was eating, that if you do eat meat, the best meat that most people don't eat, and that is corned beef, pot roast, and pastrami. Those are the most expensive and good meat. Okay, but the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad made it plain: no meat is good for you, and we should not eat meat. Okay, and once you accept the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and you continue to eat meat, then you are weak in your policies, weak in your commitments and so forth, and you need more understanding of how meat affects your health, and that will give you the courage and the strength to stop eating it.
So what happened to Muhammad Ali now after he took on the name? What did the mafia do with him?
After he accepted the name Muhammad Ali, he was the only free fighter that was not controlled by organized crime.
So they backed off him.
They backed up off him. He was the only free fighter. He went all over the world. He did whatever he chose to do. He was free to do that. He was welcomed by the world.
So you were saying that he went to the heights of his career after taking on the name Muhammad.
After he took on the name Muhammad Ali, he was at his height, his peak.
He rose.
Okay.
He rose.
He rose to be the most well-known black man not in America, in the world. And the world opened the doors. Every country of the world opened the doors to Muhammad Ali and welcomed him in the world of Islam.
Wow.
The greatest black man that ever walked the steps of America.
He was amazing in the ring, too. I've never seen such a guy who fought like he did with the rope-a-dope, the way he fought. And it was just like, so man, I remember when he was fighting, I think it was a George Foreman, when he said Muhammad, when he called him Classic Clay. Yeah. And he said, "That's not my name." Right. And he hit him again. "What is my name?" Yeah. Was that George Foreman?
Yeah, no, it was I forgot his name. So many.
Sonny Liston.
No. That took my tongue. Well, anyway, all those that didn't call him by Muhammad Ali, he gave them a beating.
Yeah, I saw he gave him an extra beating. He's like, "What is my name?"
Floyd Patterson. Floyd Patterson. Wow. So now I want the world to know Muhammad Ali was the most highly welcomed and respected individual in the world. Yeah. Okay? He's the icon. Yeah. But he was produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
So Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad produced some of the greatest people. Malcolm X.
Yes.
World famous.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, world famous.
Right.
So there is some life-giving power inside these teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Do you have that online as well, the teaching?
Yes. Now, all of the icons, that was produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. In other words, they wouldn't have been who they are if they didn't have the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He is the father of the icons. And I'm going to name them for you. Malcolm X, icon, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X, icon, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Minister Farrakhan, icon, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Brother Clarence 13X, known as the father of the gods and earths, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Warren D. Muhammad, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Melchizedek Supreme Shabazz Allah, produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All these greats that stood in front of the world yesterday and today was produced by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And if it wasn't for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they wouldn't have been great at all.
But you know, it seems
so
that
we always have to remember the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what he received from Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, is the father of us all.
Yeah, and it seems that at that time, you talk about in the 50s, there was no signs of Islam in America.
Right.
So this was like a founding father of establishing the base of Islam of America.
Right.
Today, you see many Muslims in America today, but don't know how the foundation they stand on that they live on, what was sacrificed through life of people and what was started. Whether you agree with the ideology or not, it was the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad who laid a foundation of America from the 60s when you didn't know about Islam.
Right.
The world of Islam was known in America through Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the father of all the great icons. Okay? And always remember, never put nobody in front of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
And Brother Melchizedek.
It's Almighty God Allah, who came to person of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, last and greatest only messenger, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and all the great ones, the icons, came from those two individuals.
Well, as you know, some of the viewers here may be in the month and observing the month of Ramadan. I would hate to end the show without having some talk about the month as it's moving so fast. Ramadan is such a great and beautiful month. It's such a holy of a month and a purification process, a cleansing process. What would you say from your experience as a Muslim for so many years to the viewers who's observing Ramadan? What would be your advice as they have another 15 days or so to go to push it through, and what should they work to get out of it, and what would be your advice?
Okay, Ramadan is the meaning of Ramadan is a spiritual purification. It purifies you spiritually. It purifies you mentally. Purifies you physically. All negative thoughts that you may have or still have is supposed to cleanse your mind, cleanse you spiritually, mentally, and physically. Okay, the abstaining from food is from sun to sundown. That's one thing, but it's the abstaining from your mental. It's a mental cleansing. All your negative thoughts, all your misbehavior, all your wrong deeds or negative deeds. They're supposed to cleanse your mind of that. You're supposed to be in the frame of mind. Love for your brother, but your love for yourself. Freedom, justice, and equality for everybody. The best of food, the best of clothes, the best of shelter for you, your family, and your neighbor. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's supposed to bring all the goodness, the love, the faith, the honesty, the trust, the belief that's in a person is supposed to come to the surface where they can carry into practice word for word, right and exact. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it, just like it's meant for everybody. Now, it's not just for 1 month. You're supposed to live Ramadan every day. Every day you should have love for your brother, but your love for yourself. Every day you should have a spiritual and mental and physical cleansing. Every day you're supposed to be moving forward to elevate yourself to a decent, respectable level. Every day you should go neat, clean, and organized. Every day, not just 1 month. Every day is Ramadan. But the month that was set aside for that Ramadan, we respect that and we honor that and we carry it into practice. But I want you to understand, after the month, continue with the rest of the year. So if you don't continue with the rest of the year, then you're going back on your principles. You're going back on your policies. You're going back on your commitments. You understand what I'm saying? So all the vows, all the spiritual, all the mental, all the physical activities that you carried into practice and participated in during the month of Ramadan, after the month, do it the rest of the year. And let Allah know that there is no God but Allah. You understand? And I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And Muhammad is his messenger. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is son of man, apostle, the how you say, the reminder, whatever goodness that you can speak of pertaining to Allah and the messenger of Allah, that's what you do. Not just 1 month, every day.
Wow, that's a great thing. So it should be a purification process where it's always an elevation year by year, never a repeat. Because if you go off your principles that you just established and vowed to, you're going back to zero.
Right.
You'll never get to 100 because every time you get to 10, you go back to zero.
Right.
So we gotta keep mindful.
And no meat. Not going to eat no meat during Ramadan.
Well, if you want to be at 88 looking like this, brother, you know what he said to do. Get rid of that meat. So
and no medication.
No medications too.
No meat means no medication.
Yes. So brother says that. Now this cookbook, and if some people want to view some of the lessons and teachings of what made Muhammad Ali, and what made Malcolm X, and what made you Malcolm Shabazz, Melchizedek Shabazz, where could they get these teachings?
Okay, you can go to my website is universalsupremeshabazallah.com. Okay.
Universal Supreme Shabazz, HAABAZZ, Allah.com.
Right.
Okay. And the phone number is important because some people may want to ask you some questions.
You go to the P.O. Box, it's P.O. 70282. P.O. Box 70282. Phone number is 917-554-4274. 917-554-4274. You can reach me.
We need, just to get into it, we would need you back for another 1, 2, 3, 4 more times to share some more of the insight of the teachings, which we couldn't get to because we only have so much time. But we're going to invite you back to go into a part 2 of the teaching so we can see what it is in these teachings that's gave life given to the people in these prisons that came out to be upright people. What made a Cassius Clay to become a Muhammad Ali and the greatest boxer in the world? What made what was Malcolm's name before? Malcolm Little into a Malcolm X, who made him one of the greatest Black Muslim leaders, not just in America, but throughout the world, and stand of freedom, justice, and equality, and stand for what's right in Islam. You have 1 more minute. You could close out to whatever you like to say to the viewers in this month of Ramadan.
As long as you breathe, always give respect, love, and respect to Master W.D. for Lord Muhammad. Always love and respect to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And always love and respect to Malcolm X. Also love and respect to Muhammad Ali. Also love and respect to Minister Farrakhan. Always love and respect to Dr. Abdul Khalid Muhammad. Always love and respect for Clarence 13X, the father of the gods and earth. And always love and respect for Melchizedek Supreme Shabazz.
Well, here it is. We hear it direct from the man himself. Whether you agree or disagree, the truth is there. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. 88, no medication, no canes, and he's not humped over, walking as a straight man. Thank you all for tuning in to Power Talk. We'll continue to bring different perspectives and views and people on to get knowledge, wisdom, and information as we have time and as we can get a hold of it, that we may learn while we are alive. Thank you all for listening to Power Talk right here on Millennium News 24, and I'm your host, Eric Stevenson.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Brother Melchizedek. Yes, sir.